everybody. I hope you're doing well. Again, still staying home and staying safe. I wanted to just quickly go through with you a little bit about the project I'm asking you to work on during spring break. It is a PDF file that you can find in Blackboard under the PowerPoint presentations, and it's called How to Be a Spotted Zebra in a Land of Stripes. So just to walk through a little bit of it with you, what I'm asking you to do is to do this project on your own over break. Then when you get back, we're going to have a little bit of time, you'll have some group time to share what you each got and what you each came up with. And then you hopefully can pull some commonalities that you all found together into your final branding for your Shark Tank project. So how this works is it is an exercise. It's an activity for you to go through. I'm going to say it could take 30 minutes to an hour at the most. You're basically going to read it and go through the activities one by one. If you're to do this, it could be like a half-a-day workshop with this gentleman. Eric Groves came up with it. He has his own agency called Flying Hippo. Go ahead and Google them, look it up. They do some pretty fun things. But the first page is really what brand means. And it gives you great examples and walks you through a little bit of, that you're going to go through this exercise. The first part is why it matters and that every zebra has a heart. So again, why it matters to have a brand, why it matters what you're going to sound like, look like, have customers feel when they're interacting with your brand. Then filling in your spots. So what is your it for your product or service? Why do you do what you do? What is your product going to do? Who are you going to do it for? How do you do it differently? What you do, so you can see the circle here as it continues to grow. Actually fill in these spots. So answer these questions. What do you do? What does your product and service do? What do you sell? What is the business? How do you do it? How is it better or different than everybody else? And then 3, why does what you do matter to people? Why do they want your product or service? What are you doing or solving for them? Then the next is the one. This is all about your customer, right? Your spot's best friend. So what is the one ideal customer that you have? How are we going to narrow down? And we talked about segmentation and all those types of things. How are we going to narrow down to who is the best customer for you? And this is going to be a little bit harder, but you're really going to have to work on singling out. It's a jungle out there, defining and targeting and segmenting till you get to exactly who the one for your customer is. And then that's what you can actually start to position yourself and talk to. So this is kind of a fun thing. It's a brainstorm, a list of traits of your ideal customer, refined list of traits, and then the examples of the one. So list, several current or potential real-world people or companies who would fit your ideal profile. So this is a little bit of a profiling exercise that you're going to go through. And then your brand persona. So trading your stripes for spots. So how are you going to stand out? This is really looking at, your positioning. How do you take your it and your one, and the branding is what happens in between. So you're going to work on your brand voice, your brand style, and your brand behavior. What I recommend you do is go through this exercise. You're going to categorize, filter, and prioritize a bunch of words that you think represent your brand. I recommend you take this page and print it out. Cut them up. You can add new words too. You can do more than what's on here, but cut them up, the ones you like, and put them under your brand. Get out a piece of paper. I don't know, get out your arts and crafts, tape, glue, whatever you want to do, and start to piece together what the voice of your product or service is, the style, and the behavior. And then last, crafting your brand persona. Once you go through all those words, you're going to actually pick out those words and put them here. So these are the ones that you finally chose. And then last, you're going to put it all together in a worksheet. Now that you've gone through all 3 activities, I want you to be able to then refocus and write down what's your it, your 7 attributes of the one, so that's your customer, and then your brand persona. So what is your voice? What is your style? What is your behavior? Those words that you just came up with. And then lastly, how are you going to connect the it with the one? This talks about a little bit like marketing integration, right? These brand touch points should look familiar. Some things that we go over in our advertising chapter, as well as the integration. And then it just talks a little bit about theirs. So that is really it in a nutshell. And I hope that this video helps to kind of walk you guys through it rather than just throwing you a PDF. And I can't wait to see what you guys come up with when you get back from break. Have a great break.